Welcome to week 6 of Old Testament Survey 2. We are past the halfway point. We only have 3 weeks left of class, so let's have a strong finish. I want to introduce what we're going to be talking about this week and give you some pointers and some advice on the assignments you're going to be doing this week. This week we're going to be moving from the prophetic material to the poetry, the writings, specifically looking this week at the Psalms and Lamentations. So the discussion is going to be based on how Torah is related to the Psalms, and what we're trying to do, and what I'm looking for here is a connection between the Psalms as just poems and songs of praise, but also within the larger context of the covenant obligations and relationship and instruction. Psalms as instruction as much as it's just songs of praise. So be looking at that, the role that instruction, the role that Torah is generally translated as law, but it's better to be translated as instruction. But seriously, when we're dealing with that, this is something that's a major theme in the Psalms. So be looking at, Psalm 1 is a great example. So I'll be looking and giving some feedback on those. Now, on the contextualized application assignments, they are actually varied this week in that not everyone's doing the same things. If you're doing the scholar track, the teacher track, the pastor track, you're actually going to be dealing with different passages and things like that. A word of advice that I would have, specifically for those if you choose the pastor track, you're going to be dealing with imprecatory psalm and its use in counseling, imprecatory psalm, Psalm 137 specifically here. So let me just give you some advice going into that so you can avoid some common pitfalls. One of the most common pitfalls when students do this assignment dealing with imprecatory psalms and using them in counseling is going too soon to the New Testament. Remember that the purpose of this assignment is to demonstrate your understanding of the psalm itself, the genre of imprecatory psalms and how to use the psalms in instruction. So you want to demonstrate a knowledge of the psalm. Deal with the psalm, deal with the whole psalm, and don't move too quickly to the New Testament or start trying to read that in. The psalm itself gives us some very good lessons on imprecatory, on the nature of how to use that for when bad things happen. And another thing, and this is also quite common, is to approach this as being dismissive of the real hurt and pain that's involved in counseling situations where a person's going through some real pain, and too quickly going to the theological conclusion, well, God can use this. Well, yes, of course God can use this, and God can be teaching you something from it. But there's also some real emotions that need to be dealt with before a person's ready to go there. And Psalm 137 particularly doesn't really have that in there. So don't be too glib or dismissive of the real pain and hurt that's going on. Avoid bumper sticker theology. Look deep, really dig into the psalm to see what it teaches about how to deal with when truly bad things happen. So that's the pastor track. Now the scholar track, you're going to be dealing with classifications of psalms, and the teacher track, you're going to be dealing with Psalm 119 and specifically how to teach that. And that's I think that's a good psalm that's indicative of a lot of what's going on with a lot of the psalms. So I'm saying the word psalms a lot, so I'm going to stop that. This week we won't have a hangout. I want to wait another week until we have some more of the poetry and the writings under our belt before we do that. So be looking for next week another hangout. The one that I posted last week should be available on the announcements page, which should be your entry point to the class. But as always, please, if you have any questions, let me know.